Okay. So yeah, to start off, I'm Victoria. I'm 23 years old. Right now I'm in Madrid, but I like to travel around the world. I double majored in computer science and business at the University of Virginia in the US. And right now I'm part of Google for Startups. I've been part of Founders Inc., which is a accelerator and also a VC in San Francisco in SF in Silicon Valley. And I'm also part of IEEE. I'm passionate about AI automation, product, and also sometimes in my free time, I like to build small stuff. So I just want to start off saying that a shift is happening right now. VCs and even Silicon Valley, they're learning that you don't need a team or you don't need to be part of a Harvard uh, club to be successful in Silicon Valley. Because right now, 35% of new startups are solo founders. And I even know some of them because we're really close friends. And even over 60% of recent YC batches are solo founders, and they're in YC. They are learning that you don't need to have a co-founder if you're strong technically and you know how to build great products for your customers. And I also want to emphasize that this shift is happening because AI tools can actually start replacing entire teams, but not entire teams like consulting or accounting teams. It's basically they're automating processes that before will require a full person to be there. And also founders move faster without friction. Like they don't have to fight with another person or have the most common reason why startups fail, which is basically that co-founders fight and they no longer have a vision for the startup. So with AI, you can actually skip that. Then I just want to provide some examples. For example, Ben Lang is an angel investor and right now part of Anysphere, which is a company that created Cursor. Cursor is basically VS Code with AI implemented. Like you can debug or you can build things really easily and also really fast using AI. And Cursor is basically that. And I just want to point this out because in Silicon Valley, they realized that at Cursor and in Silicon Valley, this shift is helping founders build smaller and more focused teams. Like here, Ben Lang said that having co-founders and teams may be a thing of the past. I don't fully agree with this because you still need a team, you still need product development, which is something that AI can do, but we'll also dig deep into that later. Also, here's another example with Mark Lowe. For people here in the audience that are indie hackers, I bet you all know who Mark Lowe is. He's one of the most famous indie hackers on Twitter and Silicon Valley. He's from France, and he's built an empire. He's like making 400K euros per euro per month, something like that. It's insane. And he even made a joke saying that Cursor is his co-founder because he no longer needs to write code for hours and hours if AI can do that way easier and be like a partner for him. And I also want to point this out. I actually found this on Twitter, which is something really funny, that almost every single developer says that Cursor is their CTO because it's basically the AI that codes. And you can also see that also Ben Lang also said that it's basically bootstrapped solo founder era right now, that you can easily build or make 20K per month if you know how to code or even have a vision of a product, because AI will eventually help you get there. So as a conclusion of the first part is solo builders can now ship, raise money, and iterate faster than ever in history because of AI. If you have an idea and you have a vision and you are solving a problem that customers need, it's extremely easy to raise money from VCs, especially in San Francisco. So I just also want to cover, what does exactly CTO do that everyone on Twitter and every single developer says that Cursor is their CTO? So a CTO technically writes code, decides how to fix a computer architecture or coding problem or error. It also do the UI UX prototyping. It does automation, handles AI models, and also you can also the CTO can create an MVP really fast, because that's actually the main thing that angel investors and either accelerators ask you, like who's going to write the code and who's going to build the MVP, because that's extremely important if you're going to do a startup and build things for your customers. And this is basically the role of the CTO at the early stages of a startup. And here I'm going to present you an example of how this tool, which is an AI tool, can be your CTO. This tool is called V0. It's a product from Vercel. Vercel is a really, really famous company in Silicon Valley, because usually most companies host their products in Vercel, and they also deploy the products on Vercel. And right now I'm actually gonna show you an example of how I built something extremely easy literally before this meeting. I literally built it in 10 minutes, and I just want to show you how AI can be your best buddy. So here is V0. I basically built this. It's a dashboard that does competitive benchmarking platform. It does analytics. It finds your competitors, and it actually tracks them. You can also handle reports like monthly performance reports, social media performance. It's basically just a dashboard that even has your settings tab, alerts, and also this is like the preview, but I built this with only 3 messages. Oh, actually 2 messages. Like, this is insane. And this is clear evidence on how we can use AI to build things faster than ever. But also just take into account that I had a product in mind. I just thought something useful that people and other companies could use. And I just basically wrote it down. Yeah, so this is basically an example of V0. There are other tools like Lovable, Bolt, Replit that are in this competition of helping non-coders or non-technical people build things people want. But my favorite so far is V0, because if you're a developer and you know how to use Next.js, you know how to deploy in Vercel, you know how to use Cursor, and you know how to use Next.js framework, you are way ahead of the game. And that's what Mark Lowe says, for example, the successful indie hacker. And also, I just want to point this out because this is also another example how AI can be your CTO. AI can actually write this code for you, even if you have no idea on how to handle AI models. For example, this code basically takes the AI models of Google, Gemini, and XAI, which is Grok 3, and you can stream both models in the exact same piece of code. Of course, this doesn't have a UX UI. You cannot see it. But if you look at the logic, you can see Gemini and Grok, like actually I'm going to point this out here, being streamed. Like Gemini stream text, and you can also stream Grok. And here's how it handles the Gemini 1.5 Pro model. And here you can see how it handles XAI Grok 3 model. And everything using the Vercel AI Gateway, which was just released like a month ago. They actually announced it in the Vercel Ship It conference. And I think it's really cool. I talked about this with other founders in Silicon Valley, and we are like all in shock, because this is extremely, it's like the simplest way to handle AI models. And the crazy thing about this is that I didn't write any of this code. I basically just told Cursor, hey, I'm going to use Vercel AI Gateway. I explained all the features, and the AI wrote this. And this is how impressive, and this is like shocking, and this is the perfect example of how AI can be your CTO, even if you don't want to write all this or you don't know what an asynchronous function is. Also, without getting too technical, I just want to point it out that AI can also automate the boring stuff in your code. It can send cold emails using resend. It can write TypeScript interfaces from just plain English or any other language. And also it can perform code reviews and detect common bugs that the AI can solve itself while you're working on other stuff. It's just automating things. And that's the power of AI, and that's the power that every single AI company is focusing on. And I just want to point it out that this is how I built Influsfera, because I built this by myself in less than 5 weeks using Cursor, Exa AI, Supabase, and also, of course, the Versal AI Gateway, because that's how I handle different AI models. And I'm basically, as you can see in the video, I'm just doing a report. I'm getting all the data. I'm getting the market share of every single company, because it's basically I'm generating market reports. And yeah, and I didn't hire any CTO. I basically let the AI handle everything. And my job was choosing the right tech tools on how to actually build things. I even build it's kind of like a chat GPT for market reports. And honestly, I have like 30 startups and even companies interested in it. But my point here is that I didn't have a CTO. Even though I'm technical, if you choose the right tools, and with AI, you can basically build anything and you will be unstoppable. So I also want to share this. If you think this is cool and you want to have like tools that use AI as part of your team, here I'm giving a few examples. If you like to code, Cursor, Windsurf, Amazon Q Developer. If you actually use a lot of Amazon products, Amazon Q Developer is amazing. If you like to vibe code, for example, the tools I use to build things in 10 minutes, and you don't really want to code, or you don't know how to code, or you're just lazy, you can use V0, Lovable, Replit, and Bolt, as I said before. And if you want to manage AI agents, Versal Gateway, OpenAI Assistants, and there are many, many AI products that are being released every single day. So I think if you really want to get into this world, you just go to Twitter and you're just going to have it's going to be Disneyland every single day. That's how me and all founders feel like when we go to Twitter every single day. And now I just want to point it out. Even though AI is amazing and I've shown you a lot of tools that you can use, AI is a partner. It's not a replacement for you to code, because I've seen non-technical founders wanting to build amazing things and even crazy things, and they try to explain the AI how to build it. And of course, the AI doesn't understand. So what I mean by this is that even though AI exists, you need to understand what you want to build. What product do you want to build? What problem are you going to solve? Because the AI is going to be your partner. It's always going to agree with you. That's how AI was configured. The AI cannot disagree with you, or they will try to do whatever you want in a different way. But I think the best way is to understand what you're doing, even if in a technical level. Like, even if you're going to use AI, you will eventually need to learn how to code, or how to read code, or even how to solve your own bugs. So again, AI is a partner. It's not a replacement of your job, because your job is still there. AI is not replacing the role of a CEO or a product developer yet. Let's see what happens in the future. So my main takeaways is that if you're a solo founder, go for it. Don't be scared. Things are shifting extremely fast. And even if you're a solo founder, if you build something great and you know how to use your AI tools, you can still make a lot of money and you can raise millions of dollars. And think of AI as having a team, but you still need to be the head of the team. And yeah, think about it as your co-pilot, and think that you're always going to be above the AI, and the AI will eventually do whatever you want, but you also need to understand everything in your code and in your product and even in your startup. And also, I just want to include this because one of my friends, he's not a solo founder, but he showed me this, which is, I think, is something really funny. Because before, if you wanted to build a startup that made $50 million ARR, which is the annual recurring revenue, you will need to have like a strong and big company with a lot of teammates. And right now, with only a one-person startup, you can basically just build a unicorn. And a unicorn is basically a startup or a company that is valued in more than $1 billion. So I just want to point it out that any solo founders here, go for it. The odds are in your favor, especially right now. And also, this is how I like to finish. If you want to try build something really cool this weekend, and don't wait. Like, don't be this to frogs. Sorry, don't be this frog. I should wait for the perfect time. Don't do it. Go for it. You should take more risks, like this retard frog or even this Jedi frog. Like, I think this is a meme that best describes the startup world and best describes Silicon Valley. Because if you have an idea right now, I really encourage you to build it after this meeting. Like, it's the weekend, it's Saturday, and it's summer. And as I told you, I built something really great in 10 minutes using V0 and using specific prompts. So don't wait for the perfect time. Do it after this meeting, because you never know. Maybe in a month or in a year, you will be making like 20K per month or even more. Like, it's insane. But that's why me and a lot of my friends, we love Silicon Valley. And I also want to share my contact. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I connect with everybody, and I also post my startup journey and my founder journey there. Also follow me on Twitter. I'm extremely active on Twitter, because I don't know why everybody in Silicon Valley is on Twitter, and we post our wins. Sometimes we just talk about the drama that happens. For example, the CEO that got an affair at a Coldplay concert. Like, that was like, Twitter exploded. And also, yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram, and you have my email in case you need anything. I'm pretty active, and I almost respond to every single email. And also, remember to fill out the feedback form for your certificate. Here you have the QR code. It will take you like nothing. It's really straightforward. It's really short. And follow the D4 community socials and LinkedIn and Instagram, because they're really, really cool, and I really like to work with them. Yeah, and right now, I don't know if Kasi, I mean, I don't know if you want me to answer some questions from the chat, or do you want, like, you say? Yeah, or I don't know if somebody in the chat or in the audience has any specific questions for me. Okay, then tools. Okay, wait. Here. Can you see it? You can also, I'm also gonna share these slides with you after the presentation, so you will all have this. Or if anybody has like some specific questions about the tools, I actually know all of these tools. I have used some of them, and the tools that I didn't use or I don't use, there's more specific because they're not compatible with the tech stack that I'm using. That's one of the main reasons. But I'm always testing it out, because they're always upgrading and uploading new features and new compatibilities. No more questions? Nothing? Okay, then Kasi, I think. Oh wait, no, sorry, there's a question there. Okay, you can receive the certificate if you fill out this feedback form. If Everyone. Okay, yeah. So you can get the API from LLMs, and usually they're okay. Depends on the LLM. They can be cheaper or more expensive. For example, I think, in my opinion, the most expensive one is Grok X AI, but also because they give you a lot of features and they're like super. I don't know. They're kind of weird, but I think they're one of the strongest AI models right now. With Grok 4, they exploded like the LLM market. And just like go to Gemini API, X API, literally just type that and it will it will guide you to get on how to get the API keys and how to integrate it on your they even give you examples on how to build something extremely simple. So then you can just like build something greater from there. What's the one tool that we can use to learn deep theoretical coding concepts? Um, I think, wait, I don't really understand that, but I think like if you want to understand how to use one specific tool, you can literally talk about it with ChatGPT or Grok or any other these AI models, and they will actually give you step by step. And that's how me and every someone in Silicon Valley do to learn something new, like something or just to learn a new tool. Because sometimes at the beginning it's gonna be hard, but once like it's like a video game. At the beginning, you're gonna be stuck, you're gonna be in the tutorial, but then when you get the hang of it, it's gonna be extremely fun and extremely easy. Okay, so if you're getting to AI and you want to build things using AI, wait, let me go back to the here. If you want to get, if you want to start learning how to build things, I think you should go with vibe coding because this shows you how to handle folders and it actually explains to you how the AI is building something. So you can start learning on how to manage the folders or how to manage the routes. And this is something I actually talked about it or saw on Twitter is that if you're a beginner and you don't know how to code, go with Lovable because it's the most no code friendly because it actually teaches you and it helps you a lot with APIs and also how to structure a website. But Lovable is not full stack. What I mean by that is that Lovable, you can only use it to do websites and maybe just plug in a database, and that's it. If you want to do something more technical, like for example, Influsfera, I basically used V0 as the beginning because it is full stack. I could work on the front end and back end at the same time because of the routes, and that was extremely useful. And that's how almost everybody in Silicon Valley do that. So if you're gonna start, use Lovable and then V0, and with V0 you can then expand from there. You can go to Cursor, or you can expand it to Vercel AI Gateway, or you can just like do whatever you want. Like it's insane. How do you ensure your AI strategy aligns with the company's overall business goals and objectives? And how do you measure the success of your alignment? Okay, this is a super business question. And it's basically just what problem are you going to solve? Like the AI strategy, like AI is just a means, like it's your buddy, but you must have your business goals and objectives, which is basically just solving a problem. And when you're solving a problem, the first thing you think about is how I'm going to solve this in the most efficient and sustainable way. And that's how you can plug in AI, because instead of hiring and a person that you're going to argue with or you don't like with, you can use AI that always agrees with you and does the job way faster. The measure of success is basically you use KPIs like how many users are in your website or how much money I'm making every single month. That's like the most common one. And it's basically you need to decide. That's the business part. And that's one of the most challenging things because, for example, I've seen in Silicon Valley that people are obsessed with the UI and they're like measuring the success based on how pretty it looks. Not really. That's not really how it works. And you should choose your KPIs extremely carefully. And that's one of the things that they say in YC, in Y Combinator, is you need to choose your KPIs and how you're going to measure your success. And that's extremely personal. That's not, every single company is different. And for example, how Revenue Cat measures their success is way different on how Vercel measures their success. The best tool I could use for AI agent orchestration. Right now, there's a battlefield for that. QAI is, you can build AI agents and you can use like agent orchestration using that. I know Amazon does that also. I personally believe that Vercel can do that extremely well because I think right now with the Vercel like AI gateway, they're emphasizing 100% on AI agents. But also, again, that's extremely like is your personal choice. Is also the tool that you know how to work with best, if that makes sense. Like if you are an Amazon huge fan and you know how to use Amazon tools, you should do and you should work with the Amazon AI agent builders. But if you also like Google, and they also have a Google AI agent creator that actually used it, and it's really cool. But again, since I'm doing everything on Vercel, I'm doing Next.js, I'm using Vercel AI Gateway to manage the different AI models. I think I'm just going to stick with Vercel. You don't really want to mix tools that are outside of your scope, if that makes sense, because you not only you will break your app, is that you're gonna like suffer with the compatibilities. Sometimes they're compatible, but right now, yeah, it's like it will be really hard, and that's actually the battle they're having right now. Like sometimes are not compatible, so you just basically need to stick with one thing and don't mix it. What will be the best way to get started with your startup when you have the idea and know what's the product but don't know where to get started? Basically, if you know how to code, go with V0 or Preplit or Bolt. Just like use a tool that you are more comfortable with. And then once you reach the MVP and it kind of works, you can then switch it to VS Code or Cursor to further development. And also like host it on GitHub, and you can also put it open source. You can maybe find contributors that will eventually work on the solution with you. So the open source community, I really like it because it's like we all support each other. We all know the struggle, and I know companies that have been successful just because they're open source and people like the product because they feel involved with the product. If I want to contribute open source as a beginner, how I can start and how I can get the opportunity? Go to GitHub, find a product that you love, and just like work on it. Like download the repo, make some adjustments, push it, and maybe the developers will even hire you. I'm not even joking. Like I've seen YC companies that they post their companies in open source. People start to contribute like hard code, like not hard coded, but just like they're hardcore coders, and they even hire them because they're so passionate of the product that that's also one of the things that startups want. They want builders and developers that are obsessed with their product, and they will basically not sleep with working on them. So you just really go to GitHub, find a product that you really, really like, and you will eventually get hired. Maybe, I don't know, but that usually happens a lot. Like I've seen it a lot. What are the key things developers should focus on to move from product to market-ready product? Test it out. Like build your MVP, talk to your friends, send it to your friends, and ask for feedback. Literally, I have friends who literally send me their projects, and I literally give them feedback like all the time. They literally like 2 days ago, yesterday, it's insane. So just like have an MVP, throw it. Like don't get obsessed with the UI. Don't get obsessed with, oh my god, it has to be perfect. Like just if it works, tell all your friends and show it to your friends, and even put it in open source on GitHub and say, hey, I built this. Put a demo, of course, like how it works and everything. Just don't say I built this in the link. No, just like give an explanation of why this should exist right now. And good luck. Like you have your odds on your favor. So just literally start having users. What are the risks of AI hallucinating when building tech products? For example, generating stuff that are incorrect, optimal, or misleading in terms of performance or implementation. That's extremely true, and you guys should be careful. That's why I mentioned several times here in the presentation that you should understand, or at least, yeah, you learn how to build things, because the AI can hallucinate even with fixing bugs. I've seen it. I've seen people breaking their apps because they vibe code a lot with Cursor, and Cursor starts to hallucinate, and they basically Cursor breaks the app. Like I remember this happened a few months ago that uh literally they were Cursor will start deleting your entire project, and people were pissed. So that's like the most harmful way to for the AI to hallucinate. But just literally my best advice is learn how to code, but not like being, I don't know, like full-time and like have a social life, but you need to understand what an API route is, how to use APIs, how to handle a route if you're using Next.js and full stack. But yeah, you should like move out of like your comfort zone and grow with the AI, if that makes sense. And learning, if you like the journey, you're gonna enjoy it a lot. What are the best AI tools for creating wireframes, UI mockups, and design systems? I think most people in Silicon Valley use ShotCN because it's the most simple one. I think I also agree because I'm actually gonna wait. I'm gonna switch tabs. Yeah, here. This is basically ShotCN, and is the cleanest one that users really like, because when you're building things, is that you need to be thinking of the user, not to like waste your user's time or just like getting your user confused, because otherwise your user is gonna like leave. They're gonna leave you, and that's the opposite of a startup. And I think if you want to use ShotCN and the cleanest one, V0 is gonna be a really good option. Lovable, I think they also have ShotCN, but they have a different UI. So it's also depends on you and what product do you want to build, and also the branding you want to use, and how you want to make your customer feel. And that also has to do a lot with the brand. So I think all the vibe coding tools are really great at UI. But also if you want to do design systems, I think Figma is a really great one. Actually, V0, I'm actually going to go to you can import from Figma. So you can upload a project, you can even create a landing page, sign up form. But I think if you want to do a design by yourself, you can import from Figma. If not, V0 uses ShotCN. Wait. Okay, wait, does anybody have like a question like oh wait, okay, I'm gonna continue. If I'm learning Java development right now and I have some issues while making a project, so what kind of AI tools I can use to make my project more interactive with deeper and easier logic, which can be understandable by everybody? So if you're learning Java, this is like to build things that are like Next.js. Next.js doesn't use Java. They use like JavaScript and also TypeScript. But if you're using Java, I think you can use Cursor or Windsurf if your college allows that. So I think if your college allows that, you can use Cursor or Windsurf and just go from there. My point of view on Web3, I'm not really on Web3. Like I've know some things about crypto, and I remember when the NFT thing blew up. I was in college, and I remember talking to my professors, which I love them. I love my CS professors, and they were telling me that NFTs were the biggest scam of all time. But I don't believe in NFTs right now. With crypto, I think it can be a thing, but not yet. Like right now, they're just like scamming everybody. But for example, what happened in Argentina, and it's like I think it can be valuable. And I'm not really into the world. I'm more into the AI. But sometimes I see things that are like, bro, I think Bitcoin can be serious in the future, but like, I don't know. It's not something that it's around me, and I'm not investing in Bitcoin. Maybe I'm gonna regret in the future, but like, I don't know. I mean, it's not my world. Okay, how to use AI to make more opportunities for us, and which tools AI tools to learn corresponding with academics. So I think it also depends on how to you use AI. That's something I've been talking about it with one of my friends in Silicon Valley. Is like AI is not going to replace jobs. That you can still get jobs. Like you can be an AI engineer in a YC startup. It's how you use the AI that it's going to make you different. Like how you use AI is going to give you competitive advantage. And I'm going to give you an example that has happened to me like a few weeks ago. I went to present Influsfera at a Cursor meetup. And I remember when I was demoing, one of the questions that I had was, how did you build your UI? Because they were super technical people, but they didn't really know how to use AI on their advantage. And they were asking me, hey, did you do it? And I was like, bro, you just like spend hours and hours and hours and you learn, and then you see on Twitter how other people are doing it. And it's not a competition, but if you really like to use AI, you will eventually learn how to use it on your advantage. And you will also have a competitive advantage because you will have a different point of view on how to build things. And that's actually one of the most valuable things that they see in Silicon Valley. Like if you're an outlier and you know how to do things differently, you will have huge differentiation from everybody else and you will eventually get that job. So if you basically need to learn how to use AI to your advantage and just customize it. And how to avoid becoming over depending on AI, learning how to do things by yourself. Because when you fix bugs, it also has happened to me. When I fix bugs, sometimes the AI doesn't really know or it's hallucinating, and I literally need to see the code. I need to see the error. But at the same time, like coding for me is like playing a video game. Like you will eventually, if you play this game for a long time, you will eventually learn what errors or what is causing some errors, and you know how to fix them, even better than AI. I'm an embedded engineer. I'm aspiring to be an AI engineer. I want to know what I need to do. Build things, use AI. Also, like, don't spend a lot of money in AI because, like, be smart. That's one of the things that you need to learn being an AI engineer. You need to understand how to minimize the costs while building extremely good things. So really just build projects, because everybody in Silicon Valley and even in the entire world, they're going to ask you what you have built in the past. So, and if you say I built this with using AI and it's amazing and it has like 5,000 users or 5 million views on Twitter, you will ensure to get that job 100%. Tips on web development. I think web development, okay, this is a hot take, but if you're going to start, use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as a beginner, like literally build something extremely fast in a week, and then switch to Next.js because it's the most popular framework. And I think if you're going to do amazing things, go for Next.js, because Next.js, you will learn about routes, you will learn about some pages, how to do different tabs. And also, like, I'm going to go back to my, wait. Yeah, here. I'm going to show you Next.js. Here's a demo from before. If we look at the code, you will see dashboard, you will see the components, which are the pages. And with web development, you will eventually need to do different pages, like this as an example. So I think Next.js does an extremely great job helping you understanding at a really basic level how a website should look like and how it should be organized. Because, for example, here you have dashboard, you have navigation, the tabs, which is like the computers tab, reports, settings, and in the UI, which I basically use the liquid class because I built this based on the famous Apple conference that I thought it was like not funny, but it's like they're having. I remember on Twitter everybody was complaining about, oh my god, not right now, it's liquid glass. I don't like this. I was like, bro, this is like the new standard. Can you recommend AI testing tool that can automatically generate test cases or catch bugs? I've Right now, I'm literally doing that by myself, but I know there's some YC startups that are working on solving those problems. From my close circle, we are just solving these problems by ourselves right now. Like, it's basically, if you want to do testing tools, I think if you know what product you're going to build, you're the best debugger because you have a vision. If I keep posting my stuff on X and GitHub, can I get hired from there? Yes, I've seen it several times. And even you can grow an audience and have like 10K followers. I've seen it. Like some of my friends are from India and they have like 15K followers and they're amazing. Like they're amazing people and they are building amazing stuff. So do it. I actually encourage you to do that. Like you will not be the first one and I think you will be successful. Like, I actually encourage you to do that. To also really great job. It's a really great approach to get a job in Web3. It's completely true. Like if you guys want to start building things, go for it, put it on Twitter, and you will get a lot of support. You will eventually get even people who want to work with you. And there are multiple startups who started with Twitter conversations. So build things and just like publish them. If I build my entire portfolio using V0, should I list my top skill as an AI prompt engineer or my job copy paste on my resume? Okay, if you build your entire portfolio using V0, I don't know. I think that will be hilarious. To be honest, it will be viral on Twitter. Yeah, you can say AI prompt engineering. I think that's gonna be a thing. That's gonna be one of the next jobs in the future. But I think you cannot just like build your career using V0. Like you need to like take the project out of V0 and move it somewhere else. Like put it on GitHub and then work from there. Put a lot of APIs. I actually build a straight project, and you can just say, yeah, I started this project using V0. Whom would you consider the best candidate for an AI engineer if you're the recruiter? Somebody who's built projects that have had a lot of engagement with users. Like I think the best priority here is how users, it is like the best judge are going to be the users. Because if you build something credible with AI, but nobody wants that, I think as a recruiter is like, okay, this person has the abilities, but like you will eventually find somebody else who can do the exact same thing. Because as a recruiter in Silicon Valley, like you should strive for the people there look for the people. Like you can be an AI engineer, you can be whatever, you can be from Stanford if you want. But if you don't know how to use the AI to your advantage and attract a lot of people, or just like building something that is solving a problem, I think that you can be the best one, but you're not going to get hired. Like something we all love in Silicon Valley is that they don't really care about which college did you go to. You could be a Stanford grad, you can be a Harvard grad, but I've seen those people not getting jobs or not getting in Silicon Valley. But not when I said not getting Silicon Valley, I'm talking about like building a product, but nobody wants that. So I think if you are a candidate who has built several AI projects and that has had a lot of users, and you also published that on GitHub, you have a really, really great shot. What's your point of view on what our next top jobs in the future are going to be? AI engineer, that's for sure. I've seen it, and that's been a trend on YC companies, specifically AI engineers. Full stack growth is going to be a lot because right now we're in the video era. So if you know how to edit videos, you have a strong shot on getting a job. But in terms of tech, AI engineer is going to be a huge thing. And software engineers are going to still be a really top job, but I think like as the trend is going up and AI models are going to be released, companies really want to not fall behind, and they will start hiring people who understand AI specifically. And yeah, also like if somebody wants to like open out your mic and then we can just like chat, I don't mind.
Guys, if anybody have any question, they can ask. And you guys can also turn on your cameras and mics.
Okay, I just want to like for one last time remember to fill out the feedback form so you can get the certificate. And yeah, and also I'll send this slide so you guys can have it and stop like taking screenshots or whatever. And you can also have this as a reference because you guys want to know about the tools, which is something I love researching every single day. And then you have like an overview on how to start. Because I think starting is going to be the hardest part. Not me, everybody says that. It's going to be the hardest one. You're going to not suffer, but you're going to spend a lot of hours. But once you get the hang of it, it's going to be amazing. So
Okay. So if
Hi, is
anybody
there?
have any question, they can ask.
Are there any
certification, right? At least right now. So I really no, I have no idea, but just like try if you like find a certification that gets like closest to AI, or if you, for example, build. I strongly believe that if you build something with AI and show it to the recruiter, I think that's going to be something much better than a certification right now. But as soon as you see Amazon or any other these companies, big tech companies releasing certifications or AI, do it. But for example, I know Google hasn't released anything. Amazon, I haven't heard anything because they're just like releasing AI tools. But I think that if you want to have a stronger shot, build something quick throughout the weekend and then just put it on your portfolio. And when you get into interview, say, I built this and I understand how AI works and I'm prepared for this role.
Okay, thank you so much for this.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, somebody has raised their hand, I think. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, do you hire any dropout student? Um, Not really yet, but I will if that like right now I'm in the early stages of building a team. I already have like a cracked Spanish engineer from Barcelona, and right now I'm in like I'm really with the YC, with some of my YC friends, and I can give you an answer from their experience. Um, they've hired college interns during the summer, but I think it depends on the startup or the company. If you're going to big tech, you must have the CS degree. I'm not even joking. Like, if you're going big tech, go for the CS degree. If you're going for a startup, they don't really care to hire a dropout student as long as you have proved that you can build things without any further technical assistance. And when I say further technical assistance, I'm not talking about using AI. Using AI, they actually encourage you to do that. I'm talking about asking a friend or having being extremely dependent on other people when building things. So if you go for a startup, they're looking for the person. They don't really look at diplomas or anything like that. They're looking for ambition. If you know how to solve problems extremely fast, because you don't want to have a person who's always asking for help 24/7. Of course, it's good to ask for help, but like you guys know what I'm talking about. Just like this type of person that is like always constantly slowing down the team. So they have, from what I know, I'm gonna be like honest. They haven't hired any dropout students. However, I've seen dropout students becoming founders. My point here is that usually dropout students, they don't look for jobs. They go straight and build their own thing. So yeah, that's what I've seen. So usually dropout students don't look for work. They actually are the ones who create jobs.
Okay.
One more question I want to ask. Hello. That how do you keep up with
So
the latest tech trends ongoing?
Twitter. I'm not even joking. Go on X because it is. I don't know why. I seriously, I have no idea. That's the social platform that has the fastest news. Everybody is so extremely fast on arguing or giving their opinions about it. So if you go on X, follow the people you want to follow, like for example Elon Musk, and you check X every single morning as if it was your newspaper, you will get ahead of the wave or ahead of the game extremely fast. That's why I said in the presentation, go on X, check it every single day. Of course, if you get burned out, stay away from social media. I actually encourage that. Like your mental health is way more important than X, seriously, and even tech news. But go on X, follow specific people. And the good thing about X is that you must provide a short tweet or a short post. So it's not like you need to read an entire paragraph like LinkedIn. So go on X, like create it after this presentation.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, I'm gonna answer the question in the chat. I'm actually interested in entrepreneurship. Do you actually think the business school is really make an impact? That's actually something I talked about it yesterday with one of my friends who's in business school. If you going for entrepreneurship, it depends on which school do you go to, and it can help you with certain things. The main reason why I wanted to go to business school is because I know I'm a developer, and usually developers, they are not good at marketing. It's literally, I've seen so many teams hiring marketing people, growth people, and because I had that opportunity, I wanted to save a lot of money from. So if you want to learn certain marketing strategies, or you want to learn something at corporate level. But if you're just want to sell it, and you will learn it in the long run, if you want to have a school can be really business school will be great at knowledge, not that daily VCs or people who give you money. They don't care what degree you have. It's like what can you do and how beyond this to skill. how you there. Even if you start making a lot of money, you will eventually want to instead of the flourish. So it's longer on. But if you learn about more one founders, really founders go to business. I don't know that number I would use like years. So we're trying like a year because if you're you're doing entrepreneurship, so you're going to learn marketing lines and you eventually go.
Julia, for it out hard. And a big thank you to everyone who joined us today. It's always a privilege how many organizing an event on CTO. Take care.